Oh yeah, I forgot the dancing.
You gotta do the dancing.
I'll do an advertisement while you guys dance.
There you go.
Thank you. Brought to you by
I'm wearing the shirt too.
There's less than a month.
You look very orange.
Of course, you guys start fighting now.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Geek the F Out. I am Lucha Johnny. I have to pound my chest every time now, apparently. I don't know why.
Pound it. And I'm Kayla, aka Silver K. Johnny, can you turn the music down so people can hear us? Thank you. Thank you very much. You can hear me, but you can't hear the music, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can barely hear you.
Perhaps I'll talk
You're
louder.
good now. You're good now. It was before. You're fine. Anyways, welcome to Geek the F Out. We are joined by our esteemed guest, Mr. Ralph. Really? Gonna do this now? Welcome, Ralph, to the show.
How's it going?
Good. How
It's
are
good to
you
be back.
doing?
Tired.
Yeah.
I'm a tired guy.
Yeah,
I
tired
feel
boy. Well, it's Friday, so hopefully we can all get some rest this weekend.
Yeah.
But yes, we are here to talk about Lost Season 2 as a whole, and we have another special guest who will be giving his input, as you can hear.
I was confused for a second. I'm like, wait, who else is joining us? I'm like, what did I miss?
It's a impromptu guest that I can't do anything about, and now there's a three-way happening next to me. All right.
Thank you.
Anyways, yes, I wish it was a human three-way, but it is a dog three-way. So, shall we say hi to the chat before we get into it?
Sure. Allison Troy is here. Hello, Allison. She was already on the screen. Lanterns Live, who I have had the pleasure of joining. Also, one of Ralph's new projects that was unneeded. As he's like, I didn't need another one, but I'm
unneeded but needed at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was wrong, by the way. Last time I was on, we said we talked about. I had been on 3 times to talk about toys and the Greenlit series, and then the animated series. Talking about the toys was on Shiny Plastic People's channel. We were both on with him talking about toys.
But I'm pretty sure one of the both times that you were on, we talked about toys anyway.
We did.
And we'll be talking about toys probably again real soon.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy Gardner's coming out. I've kind of been paying attention to. Yeah, sorry to talk about toys. I've been trying to pay attention to
we geek out about everything
Marlin
here.
stuff, but I don't know if they've announced another Superpowers wave.
So CasinoSkunk also here. Ralph's Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's everybody who's here so far. And us.
Welcome. Yes.
We are also here.
Allison apparently brought her entire forehead. We feel very honored. She said she brought her entire forehead, Allison.
Awesome.
Umbrella, Ella.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for Kyle Rayner superpowers because that's Lost related.
Is it?
Speaking of Lost.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner. It's a Green Lantern Flash comic book where that Walt's reading, and it's Kyle Rayner is prominent in the in that comic.
Cool.
And now
that's right.
The guy who wrote that pilot episode is working on a Green Lantern show.
It's a went full circle. Very cool.
It's my favorite.
So yeah. But yes, we're here to talk about Lost. Oh, look at you guys matching. Season 2 as a whole, we broke down the episodes, not like completely like we do for, Trek Retrek, but a little bit here and there and talked about them. But we wanted to talk about the season all together and what we thought about it. You know, the character arcs, the plot, the mysteries. Yeah, so we'll start with the characters, and then we'll probably talk about the rest of the stuff intermittently, and then we'll get to some broader questions at the end. Johnny, did you also do a list for this season of characters?
I thought I did, but it's not at the end of my notes, so I guess I did not. I think I must have jumped right into 3.
Okay.
So I slacked on this one. But
that's okay.
I can pull up
we can still talk about them.
The old list, and we can go through the old list,
and then just do
try to remember to add the new people at the end.
Yeah.
Take out Boone.
Remember everyone. Take out Boone, yeah. Take out Shannon, basically.
Yeah. First on the list last time was Jack.
Don't know Jack.
You don't know Jack. Jackbox.
I thought the same thing. So what do you think about his journey this season?
He's... I don't know what to say about him this season, because it doesn't seem... like, we found out more about his fucked up past, but the whole season was basically... How far in are we? 6 minutes. Okay, it was basically a dick measuring contest between him and Sawyer, and it was fucking exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, he really... I don't know. I feel like he was pretty stagnant this season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I feel like he just kind of continued... Like, he continued his role of leader not wanting to be leader, and also, yeah, we learned kind of some stuff with his past, but I don't know. Ultimately,
we learned really more about what makes him tick and who he is, but there was no growth or change for him.
Yeah. I felt like he pretty much stayed the same. What did you think, Ralph? Ow. Here's
Jack? Jack's a...
Yes. For season 2 specifically, though.
Here's the thing, like there's a lot of talk of science versus faith and stuff, and I'm a science dude, and I really am not a fan of having Jack be the person who's on the science side of things, because he's so like out of control, emotional, and just like overbearing, and he's a bit much. He's very shouty and yelly and angry all the time, and he won't let anybody help him, but he
bleeds out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've never liked Jack. I always liked John Locke more, but I'm not into John's blind faith and shit, and it's just like,
so nothing specifically about season 2 then with Jack?
Season 2 is all about the Dharma bunker, the Dharma station, the Swan. I don't like calling it a hatch. Yes, there was a hatch that they used to enter the bunker.
Yeah.
And
I tried to just call it the station.
Yeah, like the hatch part of it exploded and is gone.
Yeah.
And it's so fucked up when they start calling other things hatches. Like, oh, someone found a new hatch underwater, and it's like, no, they found a station.
So Ralph is a nitpicker.
So it's just the one thing that bugged me about the show, and I don't know.
Isn't that a nitpick?
Well, it's the thing where it's like,
Jack leads by shouting.
That's just kind of what they started, like people who watched the show back then started calling it the hatch, and then that just became part of the show.
Yeah,
and it
definitely did.
You know,
definitely.
I'm in my room. I'm not in my door. It's stupid. It's always bugged me. But as far as this season goes, I mean,
with Jack specifically,
with Jack, it's fine.
We're going through the characters.
I am glad that he's like, he seems really angry when he gets into the bunker, into the Swan Station, and it's like, you think that he would be stoked because it's not some mystical thing that's down there, but he's just
it is and it isn't because of computer and the numbers.
But it's not like magic. It's not like faith. It's not like, you know.
I mean, technically, they don't know what's going to happen if they input the numbers or don't input the numbers. So that's a little bit of faith there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find my note that I had about it.
But yeah, I'm not keen on Jack. I don't think I'm ever keen on Jack. I don't think. Yeah. And that's what's good about the show. There's so many characters that you don't have to, you know. You can kind of.
Randall says fans during the original run considered Jack boring. Didn't have an odd backstory like other characters. Yeah. He really didn't.
I don't remember where I wrote it, but it was in there. Essentially, what I was saying was I don't get why he was so adversarial with Locke about inputting the numbers. Like, what if Locke's right? Like, just put in the numbers.
Who cares?
Until you find out if it matters or not. Like, do your research and find out if it actually does anything. And then if it doesn't, you can stop.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Exactly.
If someone wants to do something, let them do it.
Yeah.
Don't get in their
Don't
way.
yuck
Just
someone's
let them
yum.
do it. No one's telling. Yeah, nobody's telling Jack to press the buttons. Like, just, all right, just be like, cool, have fun. Later, peace out. I'm going to go kick back and eat some mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that's what I thought as well.
He's so aggro about.
And like very early on with it, I noticed that this season, rewatching it. Because, yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, why so adamant for no reason?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with Allison.
Mangoes are delish. I love mangoes so much. Any luck, Johnny?
They're a little slimy.
No, I quit looking because it was basically all I had to say about it. It was like, just push the buttons, input the sequence until you find out if you actually have to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you don't, stop.
I think we all agree with that.
It doesn't need to be this whole to do.
Also, it doesn't have to be your job, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the fucking leader. Delegate.
Delegate. Oh no. Yeah. No, both are here. Oh no.
I mean, there's so many people on the island that would love to sleep in a bed. So let them sleep. You get to sleep in a bed if you're one to man the computer for an hour or 180.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that a little bit. We'll talk about it more at the end. Leave my makeup alone, child. Not child, it's a dog. But like, you know, was there a shower system? Like, how did it work? Did people rotate? Like, was there a schedule? Like on Mondays, like this.
That's the best thing to do, though, right?
I'm so curious, like how that worked. Oh, excuse me.
Like it sucks when there's just two people down there, but if you have like a whole like plane load of people to take turns, I think a good incentive is you get a shower and a bed.
Oh, yeah, but even without having to input the numbers, like I think it would be fair for everyone to be able to shower, and I'm just curious how that worked because I think about those things.
Instead, Locke and Jack just scream about it.
Yeah, and then walk in on Kate showering, which not complaining. Who is next on the list, Johnny?
I'm gonna switch it up. It was Kate, but let's talk about Locke since he is like the other side of the Jack coin.
Fair enough. What were your thoughts on Locke season 2?
The flashbacks with him with hair is weird, but as far as like his character, he's pretty interesting. He's still the one that like he has the most mystique around him, I think, of the characters on the show. Like Ralph said, regardless of the man of faith aspect of it, I think he's the most interesting character on the show, and we learned more about him. Man, my brain is foggy today because I'm trying to remember what all we learned about him in this season. We got a lot of the dad stuff.
And Helen. And then his dad pretending to die.
Yeah, and he had the... Like, how did he go from owning his own, like, home inspection company to working at a box company? So there's still stuff
big
to find out.
questions about Locke.
Again.
And also, don't know how he got paralyzed.
Yeah.
At this point. Which I thought it was season 2, but I guess not.
No, I think that's next season. And
It is. Yeah.
And we did learn that, because I think it was this season, because this was in the notes, I remember talking about it. Rose said something to Locke about, you and I both know it doesn't work that way or something, because we found it. She remembers Locke being in a wheelchair on the plane, but she hasn't said anything to anybody. She's kept it to herself.
They show the flashback when he rolls on by her, because she drops her, I think she dropped her meds, which I think was one of her, like, chemo meds, which I don't know if Locke looked at them long enough, but I'm curious if he did and was like, oh, she has cancer and now it's healed, but I don't know. So it goes both ways, you know? I don't know. Yeah,
so
Locke...
he's definitely the one who I have the most interest in as of right now.
Yeah. He definitely... I think he... How do I say this? There's definitely moments where he thinks about what happened in the first season, especially with Boone, and, you know, he struggles with that. And obviously, at the end of the season, he struggles with the button and, you know, his faith in that. And so his faith is tested. So I feel like he definitely had more growth than Jack did, at least. And yeah, I think the backstory was fairly significant, especially with like Helen and his dad like using him to get money after he died.
And he kind of goes through a crisis of faith throughout this season, because I'm looking at my notes and I'm remembering, like, by the end, like in the last episode, him and Desmond are fighting over inputting the sequence, like, and Locke's like, no, let's not do it. It doesn't matter.
It's gonna be it's a three-way between Desmond, Locke, and Mr. Echo. And Charlie is a side piece.
And you have Henry Gale in there, just like adding to the chaos. Who just like is forcing John to like question himself, and just being
just like at the end. I mean, obviously Ben Regale is in there sooner, but Ben Regale. But just at the end, like when everything's going to shit, that's what I'm talking about. We'll talk about Ben Regale's amazing way to get into people's heads, because it is just fascinating. What were your thoughts on Locke this season, Ralph?
Same. Man of faith, being angry, trying to tell everybody, you know, that they should believe in him, and it's like, no. So one thing I can't stand is people pushing religion on other people. Like, I'm fine with people like worshiping and doing whatever they need to do, but I don't need agendas or anything pushed on me. Go be happy. Go do your thing privately and be happy. But again, the thing I always think about with season 2 is Jack and Locke yelling at each other, and Locke yelling at Jack, like, why do you find it so hard to believe? And then Jack says, why do you find it so easy? And he's like, it's never been easy. And it's like, God damn, just shut the fuck up. Like, you guys,
it's interesting.
You guys survived a plane crash. And I know it's a drama, but at the same time, like, Jack, go to the caves. You don't need to be in here. You don't have to be in charge of everything. You don't have to know everything that's going on. You need to just let it go and let this weirdo be by himself with his computer and all the other weirdos that decide to join him. It's like, just stop. Just stop.
Yeah. I feel like Locke really isn't trying to push his faith in the island, which, first of all, that is not a religion, Ralph. He's not really pushing it on anyone, even with Jack. I think the only reason why he feels the need to defend it is because Jack questions it. I think everyone else... I'm trying to think of anyone else really. I mean, Desmond talks about it, but he's originally on his side. Yeah. Just the season.
Boone is what and Charlie, like in the Moth, like Locke is he's so manipulative, especially with Boone and sticking the goo in his head and and
well, that's Charlie... manipulative, but I don't think that's like forcing him to like follow him. I think obviously what he did was bad, but ultimately it did help Boone in the end.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care for either of them. I don't care for Locke or Jack.
That's fair.
Sawyer's great. Hurley's great. Desmond's great. Like, there's so many great characters, so I'm just like, anytime there's a Jack episode, I'm like, ugh.
I like... Don't get me wrong. I don't think Locke is a good person. I don't think any, aside from Hurley, and I don't even know that much about Hurley yet. Like, almost none of them are good people. I just find Locke super interesting.
He's interesting for sure. A Locke flashback always gives you, because it is more interesting. Who was it earlier that mentioned that Jack's flashbacks were kind of just ordinary? Locke had so many things going for it, like his dad and Helen, and the fact that he was in a wheelchair. We still don't know how he got in there. So his flashbacks usually are getting glimpses into him. So that's definitely more interesting than a fucking surgeon who's just like sad.
Also, there's some inconsistencies there, because I'm just looking through my notes, and like halfway through the season, Charlie, I wrote, while Charlie has lost the right to be believed because he fucking lies so much, we'll get into that later. And Locke said he lost the right to be believed. If anyone should believe in someone's dreams and visions, it's Locke, but he doesn't.
Yeah. And even Charlie points that out in the episode. Charlie's like, Kate sees a horse. Shannon saw Walt. Like, everyone saw Walt. Why don't you believe me? Like, he has a really good point there.
Did he ever tell anybody that he was in a wheelchair? Like, Rose knows,
at least not yet. I can't remember if he ever does the rest of the seasons, though.
I don't know if he ever does. And it's one of those things where it's just like...
No, wait, doesn't he say it to Boone?
Yeah, he told Boone last season.
Around long enough.
Boone.
Yeah.
I think he told
But he was with Boone the rest of he was by himself with Boone the rest of the time anyway. So Boone didn't tell the rest of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, give the people some context why you believe that the island is,
Do we know for sure? Maybe later on. Let us know if it's later on, because I know there is that moment where, in the first season, where he's like, "Oh, do you want to know a secret?" But
I think it's in the pilot.
Yeah, but it cuts away.
Yeah, but I don't think they ever say. I could be wrong.
Maybe later on it's revealed that he told him. Let us know, Brandel. Allison. Boone has those dreamy eyes. It's hard to avoid telling Boone everything once you're in that case. You're not wrong. Yeah, Ian is quite nice to look at. Yeah. Do you want to move on, Johnny?
Yeah, we can do that. I was just looking through my notes to see if I had anything else about Locke that was
okay.
what's the word? Relevant.
Okay.
Next on the list would be Kate.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think this season we find out what Kate did with the episode literally titled that. Once again, she's still not a great person, obviously, and like we were just talking about, a lot of these people aren't, but that's kind of the whole point of the show, is to take these people that are shitty people and give them a place to redeem themselves in a sense. And I feel like this season she was less annoying in terms of like, well, I want to come along, like I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, granted, yes, there were still those moments that she did do that, but it was definitely a lot less than the first season. I think they got some feedback about it. But you know, like she uh well, Allison. Um you know, she still helped Claire again this season. She helped Sun. Like, she's a good friend and she's also a good girlfriend, which is funny because Allison says, we're so grateful Kate is not like other girls, because it kind of makes her perceived as the pick me girl. Like, I'm not like other girls. Like, pick me. I don't have girlfriends. Like, I have boys that are friends. But she's not. Like, that's definitely how she can come across, and maybe in like the first season, but even the first season she was pretty good friends to all the other women on the island. So, and I feel like she was even more so this season, and like she was really protective of Claire, and you know, she was there for Sun when she found out she was pregnant. So, I don't know. Like, she's not all bad. Like, she may not be the most interesting character to watch, but I think she is doing good things, is what I'm trying to say.
I feel like with Jack and Locke being kind of one note and Sawyer doing his thing, I wish that Kate had her own thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It almost felt like she was only there just to be a wrench in the guys' storylines.
Yeah, I could see
and
that.
Yeah, I don't. Kate's another one where I'm like, once you see the flashbacks, it's not terribly interesting anymore. Once you find out what she did, you're like, okay, so she's a murderer. But yeah, so was Sawyer. That didn't get dragged out over multiple episodes and stuff. It's like, oh, I was expecting to be something like really crazy, and I know it's she killed who she thought was her stepdad, but turned out to be her real dad, and it's like, okay.
And she pretty much killed her best friend, like,
Tommy.
second-handedly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to talk about Kate because I want to like Kate so much, but I feel like maybe the writers did her a little bit dirty. Like, I feel like she should have had.
I could see that
more.
in terms of her having more of a direction. I'm is that kind of what you mean? This season? Like some kind of like goal or something.
Like Jack
but
and
I
Locke
mean,
are doing that thing. Kate's just kind of there.
I mean, Sawyer definitely has his plans, but I don't think he really has a goal. I think most people don't really, they're just like surviving. I think that's, you know, a big thing we forget about is like they're literally surviving.
Yeah.
Obviously, we need to have things that happen because, yeah, it is a drama. And a lot of mysteries around the island. But at the same time, like, they're still surviving. Like, you know, Sun and Jin, obviously Sun gets pregnant, but like they don't really have a direction. Rose and Bernard, they get reunited, but like they don't really like Bernard for one episode wants to build the SOS sign, but besides that, you know, they're literally just surviving now because she's like, I don't want to leave. I'm cured. So I don't know. Like, I guess like she is more so like, but I think that's just how the show goes, and it's kind of hard to give a bunch of people like a goal or direction when there are so many main characters like this. I feel like it would have been hard for them to work that out, but I still agree with you that, like, yeah, it seemed like she was just kind of there a lot of the time. Like, she didn't necessarily move any of the action along further.
So here are my greatest hits about Kate in my notes. I do not care about the Jack-Kate Sawyer love triangle. That was when Sawyer was unconscious and was saying, "Where is she? I love her." He was not talking about Kate. And then... do
you think he was talking about Cassidy?
Yeah, I think so. And then I wrote, Kate's going to fall asleep and forget to input the code, and we'll find out it doesn't matter. Or the bunker will explode and we'll be rid of Kate and Sawyer. Unfortunately, they got
One
to it
can dream.
Kate talking to an unconscious Sawyer. Puke emoji. Don't care about Kate's past. I think it was Sawyer. Someone told her how it was, and I'm like, he is 100% right, and it infuriates Kate. He really does have her pegged. Oh, no, it wasn't Sawyer. It was the marshal.
He wants to peg her.
The marshal knew. Like, he told Kate exactly how it was, and she's so pissed off because he's right about her.
Yes. Indeed.
This was the note. What was this? This was episode 9. Where I said, the Kate Sawyer relationship is exhausting and almost makes me want to stop watching the show. Like,
I think that was what Kate did, wasn't it? That episode.
I think so.
If I'm remembering correctly. Anything else?
I mean,
about
and
her?
that's only episode 9, and those notes are about. The only thing that she did that was good was when Jack and Sawyer were having their dick measuring contest, and she was like, "Should I go get a ruler?" And I was like, "Yes,
yes,
absolutely."
That was good. I appreciated that line.
Oh, and like, here's another one from the episode 23. She says, "And since when did you and Jack start talking about me?" And I'm like, "It's not just about you, Kate." Jesus fucking Christ. She also has this tendency to feel like everything revolves around her. Like,
yeah,
she has main character syndrome.
I could see that.
She's not the main character.
Yeah, I think she's starting to realize that this season, though. Especially because she gets left out of a lot of the plans, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm not the main character."
Yeah. You are not as important as you think you are.
Right. Yeah. All right, shall we move on to the next character?
Yeah, and that's Sawyer. And Sawyer's still a douchebag. He's a funny douchebag, but he's still a douchebag. Like,
but he's more interesting, I think, than
Kate?
Jack.
Yeah, he's definitely more interesting than Jack.
Mm-hmm. He has a personality, that's why.
Yeah.
I don't think Jack does.
There's a little bit of mystique around him and his past too. Mm-hmm. With the note and his whole thing with being a con man and whatnot, but they start to, unveil that aspect of him this season. So,
yeah.
You started watching season 5 yet? You still haven't started
yet.
Season 5. Okay.
Mm-mm. I know it's your favorite, and it's
until we watch it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
was not one of those.
My eyeball has been
bothering
me for 3 days. I've been.
Oh no.
I apologize.
Tangent time.
For too much info. It's been oozing goop for like 3 days. At first I thought maybe I got pink eye, but the eye doesn't hurt. It just gets sticky, and my eyelid hurts because I keep like rubbing it to try to clear Like
I had something like that similar like a couple weeks ago where I was just like it was just like gunk in my eye nonstop.
yeah, it's been
And
like
even
The
if
only
I'd like
time
wash it out,
I've seen
it's
that
still...
happen is with dogs, so I can't.
Yeah,
help
I
you.
feel like fucking dog because I keep having to like
Aww.
wipe shit from my eye.
If anyone knows how to help Johnny, let him know. But
Thanks, Allison. I appreciate that.
My suggestion, as always, go see a doctor.
It's been getting better. It's just annoying. Like like I said, my eye doesn't hurt. It's not red. It's not itchy. Like I thought it might be allergies, but
Be
it's
like your
only the left
sinuses.
eye. I don't know.
Could be like an allergies. Sometimes just one of my eyes gets itchy when I have allergies.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Chris.
I don't know.
Thank
We'll
you.
see.
Someone that essentially grew up in a hospital. Yeah, don't look at a WebMD.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you should do. Anyways, back to Lost. Sawyer. Any other thoughts on him this season,
No,
Johnny?
Not really. Like
I like Sawyer.
He's all right. He's a piece of shit.
He's getting better.
He's entertaining
but also
to watch.
He's shitty.
Yeah.
This season, especially when he has the whole long con manipulative plan to get the guns, and Kate sees right through it. She's like, "You just want everyone to hate you." Like, what the fuck was the point of that?
There's a wrestler in AEW, and one of the things that one of his catchphrases is like, "He's our scumbag." Sawyer's our scumbag. He's a scumbag, but he's our scumbag. So like,
but also he doesn't like the drama he causes isn't as like I don't know. It's dumb bullshit and he's an asshole. But at least I don't have to hear him whining about Jack and Locke.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he does.
He definitely
like I feel like he'll
stays
put
out
them
of
in their
it.
place.
Yeah, he definitely stays out of it more this season. He kind of just lets them fight, which plays into his advantage of getting the guns, obviously. And he says that's one of the reasons because, he's like, I come back and you guys are all looking up to Jack and Locke, and he's frustrated with that, and I'm like, okay, sure, Jan, whatever. But yeah, he's still doing some douchey things, but I don't know, slowly getting better. He gave Vincent some food, so that kind of melted my heart at one point.
Yeah.
If you give dogs some food, I'd happy. Any other thoughts on Sawyer season 2? Okay.
Next on the list is Saeed, and man, did he have a season.
Ooh, you feel for him. It's interesting because we definitely see him grieve for Shannon, but when I was rewatching it, I felt like I remembered him grieving more.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It just seemed like there should have been more. Obviously, they use the aspect of his anger towards Ana Lucia as a big, plot point. Or, not plot point, but what's the word?
Conflict?
Motivation?
I don't know. One or the other. Either way. They basically used that, but not so much his grief, which was kind of upsetting. Like, they focused on his anger more than his grief. Obviously, he comes around and, he says to Ana Lucia when they're on the way to find the balloon, it was them that did it. It wasn't you. It was an accident. So, I don't know. Yeah, he had a rough season. I love Saeed. Like, I still not the best person, but I think he is trying to do better for sure.
I think Saeed's a little different though, in that he's not the best person, and he's done some pretty horrible things. But I feel like a lot of the horrible things he's done, or if not justified, at least understandable. Ish.
Yeah.
Like I wrote multiple times that, he was not thinking clearly this season because of Shannon's death. He was way too ready, willing, and able to start torturing Mr. Henry Gale to get the information.
Yeah, he definitely loses it. That was like his breaking point for sure.
Yeah. But I think his intentions are good, if not his the means like that he uses to get what he needs.
Yeah, I think after torturing Henry Gale, that was his breaking point, and I think from now on he'll definitely be changed, because there's a lot of reasons why he had to torture people that like were good, quote unquote, reasons, but obviously still not a good thing to do, and weighs very heavy on your conscience, obviously. So I don't know, he's a complicated character, that's for sure, but he does have growth this season, I think, for sure. Like it's a roller coaster, but eventually, yes, at the end. Ralph, what did you think of Saeed this season?
I was never really a fan of his relationship with Shannon. It seemed kind of weird and sudden and out of nowhere. It was surprising when she got shot. Because it happened fairly early on in the season, like within the first 10 episodes, I think, which comes fairly soon after Boone's death, like, because each day on the island is an episode. So this would have been there's
at this point in season 2, it's already been over 2 months. Like halfway through season 2, or maybe towards the end of season 2, they say it's already been over 2 months.
Huh. Because I thought it was a day.
No. Because there's some episodes and they're like, oh, we've been here 40 days or whatever.
Right.
It was episode 6
the other 40.
where I wrote, who shot Shannon? So she got shot in
early on.
Episode
but it's
6.
Still, for like the only people to die are Boone and Shannon at this point, and their deaths are like so close together, like
Yeah.
Like there's people like Joanna who drowned in the ocean, and there's the Marshal and stuff. But like when it comes to now we're following these characters, Boone's gone. Well, at least we have Shannon to kind of flesh out that backstory, and then it's like boom, she's gone. Like 7 episodes later.
Yeah.
Did Boone die in the finale, or did he die right before the finale?
He died before the finale. It was episodes before.
Yeah, so it was pretty close. But I was never really a fan of that relationship. I don't know. It's just whatever.
I didn't
about that at the season
get it
finale.
either.
Yeah.
I didn't get it when I first watched it, but rewatching it now, I could see those like little moments that they had, especially because he had to ask her to help translate the maps. So they did have time they had time together, and like Saeed was flirty with her for sure. Now listen, he wasn't her stepbrother. That's all I liked about it, but still. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that the both of you are like, when we watched it the first time, like neither of you really liked that pairing, but this is my first time watching it, and my notes were like, this doesn't make sense, but they're actually kind of cute together. Like
they are. Like I love them now watching it.
Had that opinion about them my first time through and wasn't like, what the fuck is this?
But my whole thing is like, Saeed's been so hung up on Nadia for all this time, and then just like out of the blue, like, okay. Like, man, almost if they had a scene where he talked to Shannon about Nadia, something where it's just like, nah, he just kind of wants to like hook up with this girl. I don't know.
He doesn't just want to hook up with her. He does a lot of romantic things for her.
He's got time on his hands on
Ralph,
the island.
I think you need to rewatch it again.
I don't know. I was still never into it.
Okay.
I have opinions about the finale, but which we won't talk about until a few more weeks.
All right. Shall we move on to the next?
Sure. I have Charlie.
Oof. This is a rough season for Charlie.
Do we want to just talk about Shannon real quick? Like, obviously, is there much to say about her this season aside from she died?
I was mad. I was mad when she got shot.
Yeah, like I did want more out of her story, but I think kind of like Boone, her story was pretty complete at this point because she did learn to love and trust Saeed, and I think that was like her biggest hurdle she had to get over in her previous life.
That was one of my notes. This was episode 6 where I was like, I get that the flashbacks tie into the current concerns of Shannon, thinking Saeed doesn't believe her or believe in her, but it's still hard to care about the flashbacks and they're dragging the show down for me. Like at that point I was like, the fucking flashbacks are awful. And that wasn't just her. That was just how I felt about the flashbacks
in general.
Because before that, I said, with Boone dead, I really don't give a shit about the Shannon and Boone flashbacks. Like, the flashbacks were starting to drag the show down for me. They got better. I think maybe it was I was blinded by the Shannon flashbacks because I don't really remember complaining specifically about anybody else's. Well, Kate's.
You just love to complain about Kate.
when we lose 50% of the shitty, unnecessary flashbacks,
yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, it's already been like it's been 2 full seasons. We know pretty much everything we need to know about these characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how much more
to
can
an
you know about?
Yeah, we still don't know.
Locke, I think, is a
Locke.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good one too. But it's one of those things that a lot of the times what builds you as a person and what makes you the person you are now is not necessarily these, huge events in your past. And obviously they are to an extent, but I think there's a lot of other subtle ways that have changed you and formed the person you are today. And a lot of them might seem unnecessary, but I think it definitely gives us a much rounder picture of who these people are, because I couldn't imagine if like just the first season was flashbacks and we got like the worst things that these people have done.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine, like we still see some good moments in all of these people's flashbacks despite the bad. Like, I think they may not seem important in the moment, but I think overall, I couldn't imagine if we just saw Kate killing her dad's stepdad and that was it, So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Shall we talk about Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. This season was rough.
He's a fuck up this season. He's a major fuck up this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has... Like, I wrote at the end of the season, I'm like, I guess Claire has forgiven Charlie, shrug, because it didn't make sense. But, they kind of held hands at the end on the beach. But, like,
and then they kissed.
He's awful. He's 100% awful this season. Like, not in that, like, the character is awful and I don't want to see him on the screen. Just, he's a huge fuck up. Like, his story is
Bad
still
choices.
watchable and
It's
interesting.
funny because it was
but
like
yeah.
all in the middle too. Like the beginning, he was fine. Middle, he was just like fucking shit up right and left. And at the end, like at the very, very end, he's like, "Oh, I found this vaccine. Here you go." So that's how it all turned around. But I don't know. Yeah, it was rough for Charlie this season, and I feel like his flashbacks didn't really show too much this season either. What do you think, Ralph?
I mean, was fire plus water this season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like the low point. That's like the worst. Like trying to baptize Aaron and stealing Aaron and all that stuff. It's like
Yep.
He's not in a good spot. I think he's better utilized in the next season. But I mean, yeah, you can see that they're really like, I don't know, like if the drug addict doesn't have drugs, then what is his character now? And the only like explanation or the only thing that they can do is like introduce a whole plane full of drugs. And then,
I mean, that was technically their last season, so they
but it
set
carryovers
it up for this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like I said last time,
and him helping Sawyer, like him helping Sawyer and the one to be taking out Son, like, fuck, like that's bad. That's real.
I kind of wish they used Charlie like, okay, we need to go into the woods, or we need to go into the jungle, and we need crazy Charlie, so we'll give him his heroin like Popeye spinach and just like unleash him on like the others or something. Like,
or
I don't
they
understand.
Find out the key to subduing the smoke monster, just like Fluffy the three-headed dog in Harry Potter the Sorcerer's Stone, is to play it music. So they could have done that.
Again, let him do it. Who cares? He would probably make better decisions.
Yeah, I wrote.
Who knows?
Charlie has absolutely cracked, and then fucking Locke just knocks his block off. As at the end of episode 12.
Yeah, I feel like Locke knocking him out was very out of character for Locke.
I feel like they were hinting at, and I don't know if so. All right, stay with me. This makes sense in my brain, but it may not make sense in English. Like we see often from Charlie's perspective, Locke with Claire.
Yeah.
And some of the interactions that Locke has had with Claire, it seems like Locke was like interested in Claire in more than a friendly way.
Like making the little baby bed and stuff.
Yeah. And just the way that they were framed and standing next to each other and just interactions that they had, body language kind of things. I don't know if it was supposed to be that way, if I'm reading into things, if it was a plot point that they were going to seed in and try to go with and then ended up dropping. But to me, it seemed like there might have been a spark of, if not a relationship between Locke and Claire, and unrequited love, because that would tie kind of back into Locke's thing with, Helen the sex worker. So, I don't know. It could have been a thing. I might be imagining things.
Well, there was definitely some jealousy from Charlie. Like,
yeah, and Locke is protective of Claire and Aaron.
Right. Right.
I never took it that way, even though Charlie suggests it. Every time I've watched it, and when I rewatched it this time, I never got that vibe or hint between them. I always just kind of took it as he's being protective of her and kind of like a fatherly figure.
Yeah.
Because I forget what happens with her parents. Because I know her mom's still, or, you know, obviously we find out who her dad is. But, I guess, yeah.
Johnny know that?
Yeah, I've watched that season, but that's next season.
Okay. I agree. I think that I don't think it's a romantic thing, but Charlie maybe feels threatened and maybe thinks that.
Yeah.
I think it's deliberate, but at the same time, like, I think Charlie's just, again, his brain's not working right.
Yeah.
It's not
feel
making
like
good decisions.
And then he's the
in
one
his own head.
who abducts Son.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. That's bad.
Yeah.
Real bad. And it's all to make Locke look bad. And I'm like, really? Like, I know you're mad at him, but damn. That's really far to go. You know? I don't know. But as we all know, it gets better next season for him. Finally.
Well, yeah.
I know. All right, who's next?
Hurley.
You want to come say hi?
Hurley's great.
I still love Hurley. Hurley's great.
Yes.
I have no complaints. Like, Hurley's awesome. He's
think
100% right about everything with him being in charge of, like, the provisions, because almost immediately Kate's like, she comes to get the shampoo and she's like, it's just one bottle, and he's like, that's how it starts, and I'm like, fucking yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
It is how it starts.
And he gives everybody
begins.
the stuff all at once, and it's great.
Yeah.
The stashing the food thing is kind of infuriating. I feel like it's kind of mean, and it's, I don't know, you know.
And then
we talked about that. I'm definitely still upset with it because I felt like we could have given him any other kind of struggle besides food. But I talked about this before when we talked about that episode. As someone who has had both disordered eating and eating disorders, you know, I think like anyone watching that can relate to him and how he's like, I have a problem, like something's wrong with me, because it is like, it's either an addiction of some sort, or it's a coping mechanism of some sort. You know, it's very mental. It's not just, I'm hungry, I'm gonna binge eat a lot of stuff. It's never that cut and dry. But yeah, I would like to see more to his character besides that. Obviously, we do get a little bit more with even more into his mental health being at the hospital. And we do see Libby at the hospital. So, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, it's good to, you know, show those struggles. It just, wish there was like a little bit more than that.
Right. And then Libby, that whole thing. That doesn't go.
What did you think about their relationship?
I was all for it. Michael went and fucked.
Me too.
Dude, I was
how brutal was that episode? How mad were you at that episode?
I was so fucking mad. Because I'll read my when we come up in the next episode and Libby's not dead yet, I wrote in all caps, Libby's not dead. Get fucked, Michael. I was so happy.
Oh my God.
And then all she could get out before she died was Michael, and not Michael shot me. Michael did it. Michael's the killer. I feel so bad for Libby and bad for Hurley because oh man.
And especially they were gonna have such a cute date. And like they just had that breakthrough too with her telling him like it's not all in your head. Which we discussed that it's not necessarily like there's some holes in that story.
Yeah, especially because we see her in the hospital with him in the mental institution, and then she ends up. We see her later somewhere with someone else.
With Desmond.
Yeah,
she gives him the boat.
Desmond, like,
yep. Because her husband
is that
died.
Libby talking to Desmond? That's totally Libby. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I love Libby. I thought Libby was amazing.
And her helping Claire too. Like, regardless if she was in the hospital, as a patient, and maybe she also learned psychology, she still helped Claire. However she gained that knowledge.
Yeah.
Do we have to make all the noise right now? Jesus.
So yeah, Hurley and Libby were awesome. I feel bad for both of them. I wish that they hadn't killed Libby off.
Yeah, but you and me both.
Yeah.
Should we piggyback off of that and talk about Ana Lucia?
Sure. She's kind of a piece of work. And I hate to say it, but it's Michelle Rodriguez, and when you see Michelle Rodriguez in a role, you pretty much know what you're getting, and it was pretty accurate. Yeah, justice for Libby.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, I know exactly what kind of character she's playing. And Allison Troy, Michelle Rodriguez plays one character. She really kind of does. But it's not to say that Ana Lucia is not a good character. She is. I like Ana Lucia's character. I do not like Ana Lucia's what's the word? State of mind throughout most of this season. But then she gets over it and she gets forgiven.
Stop your sister.
And just as she's about to get redemption, she gets shot by that traitorous asshole Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Ana Lucia. And
I don't know if she necessarily got redemption, but I think at least her conversation with Saeed and him forgiving her, I think helped a lot. Yeah. Sorry, Ralph, I totally cut you off. You like her?
Yeah. Yeah, she's fine. Yeah. It's like I like Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Like I like the Fast and Furious movies, and I like Dungeons and Dragons. I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah.
But it's
icon. Hey, baby. You have
but I think I liked her on the show. She really, she's almost like Jack, but like a cop version, where it's like she has to be the leader. She has to be tough.
Yeah.
She has to put on these kind of airs to.
With the irony being that she worked with Jack's dad, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing was. Did we get that this season?
Yeah.
We have to.
Because she died, yeah.
But I mean, it's I don't know. I'm fine. She's fine. She's in one season. That's great.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been weird, and obviously she got a DUI while filming. But some other people got into some trouble while filming too.
I believe she was contracted for one season anyway. But Cynthia Watros also got a DUI, and maybe hers got cut short.
What is
it's hard to say because
driving from this show?
I don't know, but the fact that episode's called Two for the Road, a little on the nose.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, and the vast majority of the tailies didn't make it. And
is it only Bernard? Because Libby's gone. Lucy's gone.
Wait, don't Say too much.
Goodwin. He's gone.
Goodwin wasn't in the tea leaves.
But as far as right now, it's just Bernard and...
Hi.
Yeah, at the end of the season, it's Bernard and Echo.
Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Echo has a big question mark over him. I know. Crazy, right?
So let's... next I have on the list... Did we have anything else to say about Ana Lucia? I don't, really.
No.
Oh,
my God. I'm so
Claire,
sorry.
this season... Okay.
We get Claire's flashbacks to what happened to her in the the medical station. Dear Lord Jesus in heaven.
She starts to get her memories back. We find out that Ethan was the doctor that gave her the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, on island flashbacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We got
like that.
2 of them this season. Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm laughing at the squeaky toy.
Oh. I'm asking Ralph if he's being sarcastic about on island.
No, I'm serious because again,
Okay.
like when it comes to the flashbacks, it's like, Jesus, how much more do we need to know about Kate's fucked up backstory? You know?
Yeah, I think
so it's nice to get some answers. Like we knew there was time missing with Claire, so it was like, okay, oh cool, the flashback is actual stuff we missed, and we're getting some answers on where she was, and it also like you get to see Ethan again, and it's like, oh fuck that guy, and so it's kind of fun. It's more fun. It's definitely more fun than like, I don't know, whatever other flashbacks. Like I'm really
totally
excited about that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think between
you don't
that
really get to see flashbacks within the timeline of the show,
because we get Michael's at the end of the season. So we get 2 this season. I feel like it does break up things because I think
and the other 48 days, 42 days.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That technically counts too.
I think even though that's like a whole episode. I think it definitely broke up the season well because I think people were definitely starting to get a little fatigued with the flashbacks. It's interesting. And
there's always that thing. There's always that thing when you start an episode, and you're like anticipating like, oh, whose flashback it's gonna be, and then you're like, oh, great, it's like Kate, and I don't really, it's like you like kind of brace yourself for like whose flashback. If it's Hurley, you're like, oh, awesome. Like you get so like it's such a reward when it's like a Hurley flashback because his came so late in the first season, and then like and like his flashbacks are more joyful, and there's definitely some shit that goes down like in Dave, but I do like like. So even though I wouldn't be down with like a Claire flashback because it was on island and we're getting some info on missed time, that I really like that a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm still curious how much they knew when writing the first season, because it does seem to fit in very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good little island backstory. But yeah, she at least got to realize that, for better or for worse, to what happened. Although, yeah, she thought that Aaron needed the vaccine, but Desmond's like, no, that did nothing for me. So, yeah. Not much for her this season.
No, not much.
Besides
again, like
and,
season 1, she was like a plot device in season 1.
Yeah. And then she's kind of in this throuple with Charlie and Locke. Essentially. That's about it for her, though. What are you doing? All right. Should we move on to the next?
Yeah, Jin and Sun. I don't know.
It is. It's an interesting on island story. I do like that. Sun finds the bottle, and is worrying about Jin and her sort of doing that thing where it's like, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and if she, it's like, oh no, he's gone forever, like, and that kind of stuff. I like that. I like Jin being the one that ends up with the people from the tail section. I think that's fun, with Echo not talking and nobody else speaking Korean in the group. Oh my God. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
And their reunion is great.
Yeah. And then they make a baby.
Apparently.
Maybe.
He gets a little protective over her, but then he apologizes, which was nice.
Yeah.
To see.
He still has that goddamn handcuff on, right?
Oh,
he
gets
it taken off in the hatch.
Yeah.
Wait, I wrote it.
Was it the hatch or was it?
I think so. I think they had that.
It's episode 9.
They sawed it off.
Where I wrote, "Thank Christ, Jin is free." Because I was like, someone please get that fucking handcuff off of Jin. He's been wearing it for 9 episodes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Essentially. He's been marked.
I mean, he's had it since season 1, right?
Yeah.
They handcuffed him to the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was beating up on Sawyer because he thought he took the watch.
No, he was beating up on Michael because he took the watch.
Yeah.
And then when they're on the raft at the end, he gives it back to him. Okay, get off of me now. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
So yeah, it was nice taking care of that bit of.
Yeah. And we do see Sun's struggles and potential cheating. So that's why she doesn't want Jin to know about her pregnancy. And then she's like, I would never cheat on you. It's your baby. Which we learn about more next season. So we find out that Sun isn't quite perfect herself either, even though there's not confirmation of it yet. But we can see where it's going. Who next?
Michael. He's barely in this season, but fuck Michael.
Yeah, Michael can go suck a big fat dick.
I am so pissed. I wrote at the end, I can't believe he got away with everything and just getting to leave. I was so mad. So mad. He sucks.
So were we all. I literally, do you remember those pictures? I think we shared them when we did the Getting Lost doc stream with you, Ralph, but when I was in 7th grade and I printed out pictures of all the characters, and then I would write over the ones that were dead, and then on Michael's I wrote evil because he's fucking evil.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I know the whole thing of you would do anything for your kids and to get your kid back, but I don't think murder should be part of it, and a double murder.
Right.
And releasing a psycho. Okay, you both have toys in your mouths. Why are you going after each other? Just play with your own toys. I swear to God. Anyways. Oh, there we go. In my drip pens.
Cool letters on the dead on Libby. This is the most.
Yep. Can you tell I was 13?
Yeah.
All right. Everyone's barking now. Evil.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yep. Yeah, he sucks a big fat dick. What did we get for his backstory? It was court stuff and
more Walt stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was meh. Yeah, he can go suck a dick.
And like, yeah, and I'd say Walt too. Like, but Walt wasn't really in this season,
Walt was
right? Except for the visions.
He was just getting tested.
Yeah.
They were doing tests to him,
and
that's all.
Being in the computer.
Well, at least we think that's him. I don't think it was him, though. It was obviously the others trying to lure.
Yeah.
Michael.
Well, at the beginning, I was like, "Is Walt inside the fucking computer? Is it like Tron? did his consciousness get sucked into the network? Like, what's going on?"
Oh my god!
It was clearly not that out there, but yeah.
What is happening?
Vincent's still a good boy. That does it for
good boy.
The regular folks. All that's left is
Mr.
new folks.
Echo.
Yeah, Echo.
Bernard.
Echo's cool.
I like Echo a lot.
Chris mentioned that Echo should have been the leader, but
yes,
I don't
Echo
think
was
he's
silent.
I don't think he's a leader.
Exactly.
I think he's a follower. He's a heavy, like he's a soldier. He's not leadership material.
Okay, that's enough. Sorry, I need to go deal with them.
All right.
I don't think he's leadership material. I think he's like second in command, maybe, but not the sole authority. Despite his backstory and where he comes from.
But at least he has like a calm demeanor. He's not really like again. Why would anybody follow Locke and Jack? They're so yelly.
Yeah,
I can't with them. So, like,
unfortunately, as far as we know, he might be dead because one of my notes at the end, is I think Echo just died. If we have the tunnel under the bunker, I don't know if we see him emerge from it.
He's in the explosion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could be dead.
Right.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, like when they.
Yeah, that's why I have the question mark on him because we don't know about him, Locke, or Desmond.
When they all reunited, right after Shannon got shot, in all capital letters, I wrote, "Don't kill Echo, Saeed. Don't kill Saeed, Echo. Like, don't kill each other. Like, you guys both rock. Stay alive."
Yeah.
I do like Echo and Ana Lucia's relationship where she's kind of acting as a leader, but she tends to like refer to him for like guidance. Like,
yeah, he's a wise man.
That's good.
He's Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it's a good. Right.
Echo knows something too, I think, because I wrote.
What do you mean knows something?
Well, we did cover that a little bit. Like when him and Locke are watching the film, Echo's like staring at it in like disbelief or recognition. He walks right out without saying anything. And then he comes and gives Locke the rest of the film. And I remember I said during season 1, I was like, those cuts, those splices in that orientation film were deliberate. Someone took them out on purpose. And we get see, this is the part of stuff that I really dig. This ephemera shit, like the fucking blacklight map.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all loved that.
Which I took a screen cap of, and the hieroglyphics.
Good boy.
Everyone had to.
Yep.
Yeah, because those cuts out of that orientation film were deliberate, and someone had to do them. Like, it wasn't like a VHS where it goes and the tracking gets all screwed up. You have to physically cut those frames out.
We found out Radzinski did it.
Yeah. And then I had to Locke and Echo just looking at each other after the news section of the film is placed in.
Yep.
I wrote, Echo not happy about the drug mule marries. Echo is awesome. He does not put up with bullshit.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Camera. I don't know why
you
my camera
too much.
my camera keeps. I get the device disconnect and reconnect thing in my headphones, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, it's never done that before, but just we'll see. Yeah, Echo's awesome.
The ghost. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, we obviously learn quite a bit about him this season, but
he's still a bad person.
Yeah, just like everyone else. But he's more intriguing, just kind of like how Locke is. And especially because he, these dream visions, he's like, no, we have to press the button. And I'm just like, I was on Locke's side with this. I was like, you watch the video. It's for no reason.
Yeah.
Oh, and the interesting thing about Echo that sticks out for me is when he encounters the smoke monster, we see flashes of his past. Like, was his mind being probed? Like, what's going on there? Like,
he was being probed.
I think he was being probed.
Yep, he was. Confirmed. Echo likes to be pinned. Anyways. Yes.
Yeah, because all we saw were the flashes from the past, not like. So it seemed like like it was reading his past, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add about him, Ralph?
I really like him as a character, I think, and I'm not a dude of faith, but I feel like Echo really only mentions his faith when people come to him and ask him for his advice, which is nice. I think that's how it should be.
Yes.
And I like him as a character, very stoic, kind of a badass, and I can't wait to see him just go on forever on this show.
We shall see.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see.
We shall see.
A lot of potential.
Bernard.
Rose and Bernard. I was so happy.
Our favorite couple.
Yes, I wrote.
Yeah, you were so
Bernard
excited.
Gets a little overbearing.
Yeah.
I wrote Bernard in all caps with copious exclamation points. Bernard and Rose reunited. Fucking yes. In parentheses, I teared up. The most emotional thing in the show for me.
Aww.
End parentheses. As of that point. And then I said, that's it. I'm done. That's the perfect ending. I don't have to watch the show anymore. They were reunited.
But you kept watching.
And my next note was, someone get that fucking handcuff off of Jin.
Yeah.
That was episode 8.
Real.
But yeah, Bernard. It was so great to see Bernard and Rose reunited, and
we get the one
so good
episode of their backstory and her having cancer and him being very determined to heal it. And they go to Australia to see the healer, and she tells him she's been healed, so he doesn't spend the rest of their time looking for people. Which, honestly, I don't know. It's hard because I feel like if my dad was in that position, which is very relevant, he would probably do the same thing as Bernard. Like, he would probably keep trying to find people, and my mom totally would be Rose and just be like, I'm good, let's just ride this thing out. Because there is a point, because there are a lot of trials and whatnot when it comes to cancer that you can try, but they're usually pretty risky. And then obviously they go the route of this healer, but
awesome.
At the same time, you're kind of exactly what Rose says, is like, you're wasting your time when you can just be spending it together.
Awesome guest spot by Wayne Pigram of Farscape fame, by the way. Love him. He's like, I feel like he's the Australian Patrick Stewart.
He is Zaddy Patty Stew. 1000%. I watched
complaining. like this is like years and years ago. Me and Stevie watched like like the first 4 episodes of Farscape and really enjoyed it, but just never finished.
If you,
I need to.
dude, if you really enjoyed the first 4 episodes of Farscape, you will love the rest of this show, because like the first half of season 1 is kind of rough.
Yeah.
But when you get to like,
I like the idea of like a space show, but with like Muppets.
It's like like Rigel and Pilot are not Muppets. They're characters. They're real fucking people, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Real people.
When you get to
real boy.
Yeah.
What's the walkabout? What's the walkabout episode of Farscape? Where you like get to and you're like, okay, here we go. I see.
Oh, dude, it's so hard to
Episode 25.
No, I think it's PK Tech Girl, episode 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's episode 7. Things really start to. I mean, that's a really great episode. I think things really start to come together because the first half of the season is more episodic, and then it starts to get serialized towards the second half of the season. So, yeah, if you watched the first 4 and thought they were great, you can watch the whole first season with no issue, and you'll start to see things picking up and getting connected. But we're not here to talk about Farscape as much as I love it.
We're on this together.
But yeah, Wayne Pigram is awesome, and he's in Farscape, and Farscape's awesome. Watch Farscape if you haven't.
Just do it. Ralph, your thoughts on Rose and Bernard?
I mean, you love them.
Yeah.
They're a few. They're, you know, with the exception of just like Claire and Hurley, like they're really the only like non-assholes that crash landed on this island. So of course you like love them.
Yeah.
Bernard is a little bit much in his trying to make things better for Rose. He needs to give her a little bit of distance. He's a little overbearing. You know, I understand like him wanting to make the SOS sign on the beach, but at the same time it's like, okay, cool, breathe, you have time, don't force anybody else to help you if you want to get it done. Because even like Jin was down for doing it, and then he gave up because he was getting shouted at, and it's like that's not how you do it, dude. Like, just calm down, be happy that you are reunited with your wife. Like their reunion scene, is that one? It's not. It's Hurley. It's the scene where we see Bernard for the first time, where Hurley's handing out the food and gives Rose the candy bar because she knows that, or he knows that Bernard liked candy bars. So she holds onto the candy bar, and then it cuts to the cave with the tail section people, and Bernard comes up to, who does he come up to? Jin? Sawyer? And he goes up.
I feel like he comes up to the 3 of them,
and he says, and it's revealed that he's Bernard, and that like scene is amazing because like this whole time through season 1, it's like Bernard's not alive, and then you get the reveal of this guy who just very quietly asks about the people from the fuselage, and then it's a really, really great moment. So that introduction to Bernard is one of my favorites, and it comes at a time where that great Michael Giacchino music, the Hurley's Handouts music, which is one of like an iconic track from the show. So like as soon as you see Bernard so happy that Rose is still alive and she's holding the Apollo bar, and it's just like amazing. So like you root for him the whole time, and then in their backstory, he's so needling about her getting help, and she's just like, stop, just stop. Everybody has these hang-ups that they just can't let go, and so I like that. You know, I think Bernard finally comes to terms with like, what am I doing? I'm on a tropical island with my wife, and she has,
my wife,
apparently more time than ever to like actually like spend time together.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that he realizes that, like at the end of SOS, he's like,
yeah,
good story. Rose and Bernard,
especially because it's her wishes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might as well lean into it and enjoy this beautiful island getaway that totally doesn't have scary monsters on it. What is happening? Okay. Anyways, any other thoughts on Rose and Bernard?
Nope, that's it.
I think we have Desmond.
Yes, Desmond.
Okay.
I wrote, and you were surprised when we talked about episode 1, when I wrote, Desmond, see you in another, when he says see you in another, I can talk, I fucking promise. When he says see you in another life, I wrote,
brother,
is he in the bunker? Like, is he the one down there? Because at first I wrote, who is this dude? Kind of looks like Sawyer. Is this where the hatch goes? And then a bunch of things with that. And then he's gone after the pilot until not the pilot, after the season premiere.
He takes off.
Yeah, until
you guys go with the button, I'm out of here.
Yeah, until like the last 2 episodes where we get the Desmond flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A connection that I noted that impressed Kayla was when they mentioned Charles Widmore in his episode. I'm like, isn't that the pregnancy test that Claire used? Because it was a Widmore Pharmaceuticals pregnancy test. I was like,
You're getting there.
That was a good catch.
You're starting to look at stuff.
I know. I was so proud. I was like, I didn't even know that. So good.
That's great.
And that's
good,
when,
Johnny.
That's when I went, is that Libby talking to Desmond? And it was totally Libby.
Yep.
Right. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Elizabeth. Libby.
I don't know. Desmond's cool.
Yeah,
obviously,
like
he's only in a couple of episodes
too.
this season. We'll talk more about Desmond next season.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. He's good. Obviously, we talked about it. Really? Right now? You're going to bark at me? Seriously? Okay. Johnny, you know who's barking at me, too.
No, of course.
And,
that was like a cartoon sound effect.
I know. Come here.
That sounded like you have like a soundboard or something. That was
totally.
a fake dog sound.
Totally. Fake dog. Fake dog who's very needy, whose parents never leave. But I love him. Kind of. With Desmond, when he kills Kelvin by accident.
Oh, on the rocks, yeah.
Yeah. Which, once again, everyone has killed someone. Why has everyone killed someone?
And why is Kate such a big deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because she got caught.
Has
excuse me. Who's
has
tail?
Claire killed
There's
someone?
so many tails.
I don't think if she has, we haven't
Not
seen
that
it.
we know of yet.
Hurley hasn't directly killed someone.
There was an accident.
The incident when he stepped onto the deck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So people have either accidentally killed someone or have purposefully killed.
Claire is in the clear.
Yeah,
I don't think
Rose and Bernard are probably okay. Son?
I
don't know yet. Son. I'm trying to think of Son's evolution.
Well, not directly.
I feel like Son,
but because
is a badass.
What the fuck are you doing?
I don't think Charlie has.
You think you're gonna hump her? She's
killed that
twice
coffee
your
machine
size.
with his barf.
That's true. He did. Technology. I don't know. So yeah.
Just something I was thinking about.
Stevie's watching
Desmond's
the
great.
ceremonies, and there's like opera coming through the door.
Oh, I watched them this morning when they were live.
Good.
Very good.
That really only leaves us with one more person to talk about.
The save the best for last. Benry Gale.
Benry Gale.
Yep. So good.
What a manipulative, smarmy motherfucker.
Yeah. They just like wrote him so well, and he's so good at acting and manipulating and know exactly what to say, what to do, what to ask, what tone to bring up. Like, he has it all wrapped up in a little bow, and they don't even fucking know it. So good.
And Michael Emerson's
BRB.
voice and delivery for that character and the way he speaks, his cadence is perfect.
Did Kayla tell you about Michael Emerson's involvement in the show? And he was only supposed to be on for like 3 episodes.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so he was only supposed to be on. I want to say he was contracted for like 3 or 4 episodes. It wasn't a lot. And when they started getting the dailies back for the show, they're like, "Oh no, we need to hold on to this guy."
He was just in Fallout. He was great in Fallout.
Me and my wife watched the first episode, really liked it, and just didn't pick back up. Maybe I'll do that this weekend.
You need to watch the rest of Fallout. It's great. And
I hear it's really good.
He's the voice of a character in My Adventures of Superman this season.
Another show I haven't watched, but probably should.
Yeah. I won't say who the character is because I think it could be considered a spoiler, but he does voice a character in My Adventures with Superman season 2.
He's a Joker? He's been the Joker before.
It is not the Joker, but I'm not going to say who it is.
But he was the Joker in the Dark Knight movies, the animated ones.
Oh.
I think.
I was like, wait.
That's what the ones he was good. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
I didn't tell Johnny that. I was saving this episode.
What else will you say about, like, can you say about, like, Ben Linus, Henry Gale? Oh, I guess we don't know his name yet, but Henry Gale and Michael Emerson, like, holy shit. Like, that dude he won an Emmy for the show, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to look it up.
I want to say him and Terry Quinn won.
Yeah, Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor.
Yeah, earned.
I just had his Wikipedia. He was in. He was in 7 episodes of Arrow too, though I don't remember Caden James. I don't remember who that is.
Maybe I stopped watching after that point. Before that point, I mean. Or maybe I watched it. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, he's just great, and I feel like I don't know. Obviously, we get the mystery, especially of Lockdown and like the island mysteries and the others. But I couldn't imagine if it was any other actor or character that came in from the others. I feel like this season might have fallen flat without him. You know, like I feel like he really just amped things up. You know,
here's the thing: is the first season is about like survival on these guys, and you do have like Ethan, right? Mm-hmm. And in this season, you have like Goodwin, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you have this television drama, but there's no villain. You know, unless you take sides and you're like, oh, I think John Locke's a villain, I think Jack's a villain, whatever. But you'd have no clear-cut villain. And so as soon as he gets introduced and he's down in the Dharma station, the Swan station, and he's like locked up and they're interrogating, I think that's when like Jack and Locke are interesting, or at their most interesting, because you have a foil. It's not these two guys just arguing in circles. It's like, oh, here's this new thing. And just the way that he like manipulates John, who's been manipulating everybody since he landed. Yeah. And you have Jack, who's been fucking listen to me or else. It's fun to have someone come in and just be like, just like play these two like suckers.
Yeah, he immediately starts sowing the seeds of discontent.
Yep. Sitting there eating his cereal, watching them argue.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, that like ending when he's saying, well, if I was one of them, I would have led them to a trap. Like, oh my gosh. Even rewatching it, it just brings me back to the moment when I first watched it, and you're just like sitting on the edge of your seat, like, holy shit. What the fuck is gonna happen? Now I have to wait a whole week or sometimes even longer to know if he actually, you know, trapped them or not. So God, yeah, it gives me like chills every time.
It's so good.
So good.
Good thing I'm not one of them. Like, it's he's I mean,
he's so good.
Yeah, you get those dailies back and you're not going to be like, oh, we're going to just do the 6 episodes or whatever it was. It was something like 6 or 3. It was really short.
Yeah, it was
but
short.
I mean, holy crap, like this is the, like, you know, people say, oh, they made it up as they went along, but yeah, I mean, when you're handed this gift, you gotta pivot. You have to pivot.
You
know? Yeah. And he's kind of gone, and then he shows up on the dock at the end.
Yeah, and that was a great moment when he shows up on the boat. Like, what a badass move. And like, he just like commands this presence, and it's kind of funny because like he doesn't look like, you know, Jack or Sawyer, but like
he's not a big strong guy.
Yeah.
It's
and you
like
can tell just with
style.
his
you
can tell with just his little interactions with the others that like they like both fear and respect him to an extent.
I mean, I feel like between him and Ian Cusick, like the best additions to season 2, like they work
definitely.
So yeah.
Anything else about Ben Regale? Clearly someone else wants to talk about it.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Sweet guy.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's a real angel.
I think Ralph means in real life.
In real life.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, he is a very talented human for sure. All right. What do we want to talk about for the season as a whole since we've gone through the characters? We've already talked about a lot of different things. I think the only big things we haven't talked about is just, you know, the Dharma station.
Yeah, we get introduced to the Dharma Initiative this season, and which is huge.
Yeah.
Like before this, there's no Dharma wasn't a thing. We have Dharma shit all over our documentary stuff, and we're celebrating the 20th anniversary, and Dharma wasn't around season 1. Yeah.
Yep. Dharma everywhere.
Yeah.
Namaste. In bed.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't around for the first season. There it is. Did you read it all?
Yes. Did you read every single word, Johnny?
I did not read every single word because I meant to, and I was like, oh, and I got sucked back into the episodes and then forgot to get back to it. But it's still there.
Sucked in.
Some of it's hard to read too.
Yeah. 'Tis indeed. But people have broken it down bit by bit by bit.
Yeah, this is the age of TiVo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or if you were like me, VHS and just pause. Record and pause.
That's gotta be difficult. I know the two different writings. I wonder which is Rosinski's and then which is who, because Rosinski started it, right?
Mm-hmm. He did.
And then Kelvin and
which once again, when we see Kelvin doing it, and Desmond's like, "How do you remember where you left off?" And he's just like, "Oh, I just know." And I'm like, "Why don't you just flip the black light on? Make it a lot easier to work." Oh my god.
Yeah, go through
We're
all.
sweating.
Yeah. That's right. There it is. That was
it's
there. I was. This was like 2 scenes apart. Like, and this was before. So this,
Hey,
I'm gonna get on this rant again.
that can happen in my life. I will go from 0 boob sweat to all the boob sweat. So,
but this was
it don't
first.
evaporate.
This is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is the earlier scene. This is the later scene. No sweat. Lots of sweat. Hair's all fucked up. No sweat. Hair's all right. Like
evaporation
in the fucking jungle
on a humid island.
Yeah, she took a comb out of her bag. Her bag's sitting on the ground now, and then she evaporated.
Sure.
Comb?
That's all she could find in the wreckage to brush her hair.
He's talking about her shirt.
No, I know but her hair is also done up. You mentioned her hair was
it's just more
messy.
Tendrils.
Yeah. The biggest thing is this.
Yeah, it's the boob sweat. Yeah.
And underarm sweat. Like, it's just funny because like she's absolutely soaked here. It's just kind of.
Eldor, you came in at the perfect time. Oh, hi. Excuse me.
I took that screenshot too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like those.
You'll see those like butt
tattoos.
plug, bird.
I almost got hieroglyphs, but I was like, these might actually mean something, so maybe I shouldn't.
Oh, that's later.
Have people looked it up to what that actually says?
Yeah, I think so. Or like they figured, like, I don't know if they figure out what it says, but I think they found like a pattern, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, so long ago.
Hairpin,
swirly,
Internet Explorer,
butt plug, bird, cane,
divining
butt
rod,
crack.
like a water divining. Oh, it could be a butt crack.
Yeah, I think it's a
down in their cheeks.
Them cheeks. I like cane, but
it could be a divining rod too, like for water. Like these are the handles.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be positioned the other way. I don't know.
Anyhow.
I have no clue what any of this means, but this is the the more interesting.
What is going on here? Jesus.
Dogs being dogs.
Yeah, so there's a lot of mysteries, and then it's kind of crazy. We get introduced to this station, and then by the end, it's gone. Or at least we assume it's gone. And obviously we learn about all the other stations, or that they exist. We get introduced to 2 others, the Staff and the Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
this season. Yeah. Oh, and the Pearl, 3.
And the Pearl.
That's right, 3. That's right. And then we think there's a station where the others are, but it turns out there's just a wall of bricks behind. Okay, all right, I gotta deal with this. Jesus.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to think how these things line up too, because the logo clearly appears to me to be a map of the facility, because it's set up like the same way. You've got the Pearl in the middle, and you've got one of these in each like quadrant. Except the Swan takes up so much. It takes up the whole bottom like quarter. Yeah. Of that.
But maybe it's only because he's so familiar with the setup.
Maybe. Yeah, the rest of these could connect and have more. Like this whole facility, all of this could have connected to each other. I assume all these X's means these are tunnels that are collapsed.
Or places he hasn't been able to see or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I never, like, literally interpreted it that they were in this shape. I think that's just how he decided to draw it out. Maybe technically they all revolve around the Pearl.
Yeah.
but I don't think they're exactly situated like that.
And who knows how much distance this is? What's the scale? Like between this X and the Pearl could be like 100 yards or 15 miles. Like who knows?
Right. But he would leave and have to come back like within the time limit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be too far out.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so we have that. We have the Pearl. Find out that basically they have to push the button for an experiment. But then Echo is very adamant that it's not because of his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Locke at the very end where he's just like, I made a mistake. Just kidding. I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. Like I said, he has his crisis of faith and flip flops.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know, right? It's crazy, huh?
The only other thing I really have to talk about is man, that ending sucked. I would have been so pissed if I was watching this when it aired and having to wait a season to get like. I was like, that's literally what I remember. That ending is weird. I'd be so pissed if I was watching this when it aired. So I'm glad I could go right into season 3. But
with Penny.
Well, part of it, that and fucking Michael and Walt just getting away.
Oh, yeah.
And Hugo having to go back to camp and tell the others never to come to the others' camp. Them keeping Jack and Kate
and
Sawyer because they're
Yeah.
the good ones. Bullshit. They're the worst people on a fucking island. Well,
Maybe
aside
that's
from
why
the others.
they're the good ones.
How does that make them good? Seems
because they have the farthest to go to be good.
I don't know about that. Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't think that's.
I was gonna say I'm not wrong.
No, you're absolutely not wrong.
I'm never wrong.
But
okay, you too. Stop making out.
I had a friend who, during that finale, kicked the coffee table, said I'm done, and then walked out.
Really?
Because it does. It's like there's this thing where you have to wait like 6 months to see the next one, and it's like I just, as Hurley says, I want some answers.
Yeah. I was too young to have that kind of anger within me.
Yeah,
that came later.
It depends. When you're younger, you're just kind of like, oh, it's over, okay, and then you just go do something else until it comes back on, and maybe never watch it again. But just not out of
I
like
was gonna watch it again,
choosing not to. But that's like a lot of people don't like Star Trek Generations as the first Star Trek TNG movie. But I was 14 when it came out, and I saw that shit in the theater like 7 times. I was pumped. I was so excited. So.
Aw, little Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what else. So Michael's a dick. Ben Regal is a great character, but also like hate his guts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael and Walt going off is like the fuck. They just get to go scot-free.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else, like the bigger mysteries. Yeah, seeing the smoke monster kind of probe Echo is very cool. Yeah, we didn't get much about the smoke monster besides that. Cool to see that we already know that the whole Others facade is fake with the costumes and the beards.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else. Any other like mysteries or things that have happened. I don't know. Any other things about season 2, Ralph?
No, I think it's good. I know a lot of people think it's their favorite, or they say that it's their favorite. They don't think it is.
Yeah, I really liked it because it was. I talked about this before. Sorry, really quickly. I really liked it because it was when I did a whole PowerPoint presentation to ask my parents for the video iPod, and so I downloaded season 2 and I rewatched the shit out of it.
Do you still have that PowerPoint presentation?
No.
Oh.
God.
I'm a digital hoarder, so I still have files on my hard drive from my PowerBook G3 that I bought in 1998. Like, I've backed every computer I've had. I've backed up and moved to the new one. So,
well, if I was like an adult, maybe I would have, but I was 12.
Well, you never know.
And also, yeah. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead, Ralph.
No, but I think overall, like the introduction of the Dharma Initiative and stuff, really kind of made it more exciting for me because it did feel more like a sci-fi thing, even though they didn't like do a lot of crazy stuff with the Dharma Initiative. It was like implied, like there was this whole history on the island with these film canisters are just sitting there, the videotapes and the just the fact that there's like technology on the island, like washers and dryer and stuff like that. Like it's like I find that all really, really interesting. Whereas the first season, it's just like, how do we survive this jungle? And it's like, guess what? Underneath, there's some places where you can just live.
I love that retro futurism aesthetic that Dharma kind of has too. Like, that's one of the things that hooked me on Loki was the whole aesthetic for the TVA. Reminds me, like, I think of Loki when I'm watching Lost because of Dharma stuff because of that. But I love that kind of aesthetic with technology and whatnot. Reminds me a little bit of there's a video game called Control 2 that has a similar vibe to it. I don't know about mysteries, but I will say
constant squeaks.
I will say I didn't do any predictions after this one because I was like, what the fuck? And jumped right into season 3.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to wait 6 months?
No, we had that discourse. I don't think the experience is the same for someone watching it these days than it was.
And I think that's also why so many people watching it these days just want answers right away. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, John.
But it's like a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, we got the advantage of watching it week to week and theorizing throughout.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you binge it all of that stuff's more fresh in your mind. So you don't like there's people who still now are like, I don't understand the polar bears. But if you watch throughout the series, you can start piecing things together on that. But the problem is, like, you're thinking about something that was like, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
When you're watching in real time, as opposed to like 4 weeks ago.
That's like whenever you see the previously on, and it's not just for this, but for any show, and you see they show a clip with a character that you haven't seen in a year, you know they're coming back.
Right.
And it's like, they're going to address
those.
Yeah, they're going to address this thing that we've been waiting 8 months for an answer for. So yeah, I kind of don't pay attention to that.
Why is Cassidy in this
previously on
when it's a Kate episode?
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. It's like, because she's Kate's episode.
And that's like what did they drop? They dropped Echo all at once on Disney Plus. Like, didn't they drop the whole series of Echo at once? But then
I think so.
Yeah, but like we just saw with the Acolyte week to week, you get that week to talk about it. And there's benefits and disadvantages to both. With the binging, it's nice to be able to just watch it and have the story and be done. But with the week-to-week releases, it gives everybody a week to talk about stuff and come. But
it also gives people mad that they can't see the next one and they bitch and complain about the story when it hasn't been completed yet. It's like, how dare they include this? And it's like, well, once you finish the story, you'll probably know why.
Theorize so much that they get what's the word? They get
Shitty. Shitty.
Yes, but they get expectation in their brain and what's going to happen, so they're automatically disappointed because you're just like worked up after all this time, which was me with Game of Thrones. But
kids need to learn how to not binge shows.
It's similar to
good luck.
I haven't seen a single Game of Thrones.
It's the way I feel about Boba Fett. I was just watching Screen Crush's like complete history of Wolverine, and I think it was Chris Claremont is interviewed in that, and he's like, the less you know about a character, the more interesting they are. And I think that's true. I think that's why when Boba Fett showed up in Empire Strikes Back, like it was people went like, oh, who's that? What's his story? Like you want to know. But you're always going to like the details that you theorize and fill in more than whatever they put on the screen and confirm. That's like, I feel like if you took The Mandalorian and shifted it back and made that character Boba Fett and didn't really change much other details, like, that's what I think people wanted from Boba Fett's story.
Yeah.
Is the mysterious stranger, and like we don't need to know that he was a clone and his dad was Jango Fett and this, that, and we don't need to see him with his helmet off all the time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're getting far away from Lost, but that's the thing. Like the binge watching experience is definitely different from the week to week viewing, and then of course the 6 to 8 months between seasons when it's a new show that's airing. Although, in a way, you kind of have it better because we're going to be waiting, like 18 months for the next season of Strange New Worlds? Like, how long did we wait for Game of Thrones season 2? These shows have bigger budgets and less episodes, but it takes more time between seasons at this point.
Yeah, isn't The Boys like 2 years from now?
Like well, then they I guess they just announced a prequel spin-off, a Soldier Boy
with Jensen
and
Ackles, which
the Little Boys.
Very excited about.
Soldier Boy,
it's like the beginnings of Vought. Stormfront.
I haven't seen that show.
The Boys.
Yeah.
You don't know? How do you not know? You wouldn't know because you haven't seen it. You got to see it to have an opinion.
I'll watch Invincible.
Why don't you want to watch
it? You would probably like it based on liking Invincible. You probably would like The Boys. It's like good. It's like live action Invincible with how gory and bloody it can get.
Yeah, but that's not why I watch Invincible.
Yeah, but it's a similar vibe to Invincible.
Yeah, it really calls out the bullshit of the superheroes and also the bullshit of today, so it's great.
Well, I don't know, you were the one, Ralph was the one, I think it was, he was saying like Star Trek, like you don't want to be preached to about things in society, so you might not enjoy The Boys.
I just don't like when it's like super like hitting you over the head with a hammer, like the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, where it's like,
I don't know if it ever gets to that point. It's very satirical.
Yes, it's very satirical, and you're on the good side of it. You're not on the people they're making fun of, so I think that helps. You're not on the Homelander people that wear red hats.
So here are my predictions for season 3. We're gonna see more of Desmond. We're not gonna see any of Ana Lucia or Libby.
No, really? Tell me
I still, at this point, I still think they're all fucking dead, and this is purgatory. Like that at the end of season 2 is still my theory, because they talk about I forget his. It's like follow this compass bearing exactly, and you'll get out. Oh no! Follow the compass bearing, and you'll get rescued.
Mm-hmm.
Follow compass bearing, and you will get rescued. Rescued by who? How do you know they're going to be rescued?
Mm-hmm.
And why do they have to follow that exactly?
Secrets. Ralph, wasn't it in between seasons 2 and 3 at Comic-Con when someone in the audience asked Damon Carlton if it was purgatory? Or maybe it was on their podcast.
I think they always ask it. And
but I think it was the first time it was asked.
It's still being asked to this day.
I know.
Yeah.
That's not what
I know
saying.
you said the last time you were on, like, it's not. That's not what it is. But that's still my going theory as I was watching it.
I'm just asking, wasn't it after the second season that someone...
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just remember between season 1 and 2, I was at Comic-Con and they mentioned that the smoke monster wasn't nanobots. But 2 different writers may bring it up in the documentary I'm working on.
Ooh.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's like, for a long time they've been saying it's not purgatory, and I believe again in the documentary, I know one person says, one of the people who worked on the show says it absolutely is not, and I want to say Damon may have mentioned it as well, but it's it's a tough one because you really wrestle with what this is. Why does he have to go a certain direction, to get rescued? Who's rescuing him? Yeah. So, I mean, I like it. It's a weird place. It's neat.
I mean, it's the boat. He could be going up the river Styx. Maybe it's not purgatory. Maybe it's a different afterlife.
The edge of the world, like in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was telling Kayla, the island, it makes me think of Ravenloft in Dungeons and Dragons. Ravenloft is a Dungeons and Dragons campaign setting. It's the demi-plane of dread. It's basically a continent that pulls in evil people and traps them there. You cannot enter or leave Ravenloft without the Dark Lords of Ravenloft, or the Dark Powers of Ravenloft consent. If you walk into every I forget the word that they use, but barony province in Ravenloft is surrounded by a wall of mist. And if you walk into the mist, you often find yourself walking right back out of the mist in the opposite direction, back into, Barovia is where Lord Strahd von Zarovich is in Castle Ravenloft. He's a vampire.
So would that make Henry Gale one of these, deities that allows people to leave?
No, he could be considered a Dark Lord, which means the dark powers of Ravenloft brought him here, and he's trapped because he's a bad person.
But he would allow Michael to leave?
Yes. No. Only the dark powers can allow people to leave. Dark Lords cannot. The Lords of the provinces can't, but the dark powers can. The dark powers are essentially the gods of Ravenloft. The Dark Lords are kind of demigods in that way. But yeah.
Nerd.
Yep, 100%. The channel name is Geek the F Out. What are you calling a nerd?
I'm kidding. Oh my god, it's okay. I'm giving you attention. Anywho. I think
know
that's it. Speaking sorry, go ahead.
Since I've watched season 3, I know a couple of and 4. There's a couple of things that I know already that my purgatory theory, definitely, I think it's season 3 that it really starts to fall apart. There's things that make me go, oh, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
But as of watching season 2, that's what I was still thinking.
Okay. Good to know. Well, thanks everyone for geeking the F out about Lost Season 2 with us. Thank you, Ralph, for being here once again. joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah, do you want to let everyone know where they can find you, what you got going on? Real quick.
Yeah, go to CasinoSkunk.com. You'll see everything you need over there. It's a link to all my shows and the feature documentary I'm working on about Lost called Getting Lost. There you go, gettinglostdoc.com. Head there. Check out my new show, Lanterns Live. I'm doing it for some reason. I try to do it Wednesday nights. I kind of have taken one of my other shows has taken a back seat so that I can do this, because the other show had to be like shot and edited and put together, whereas Lanterns Live I can talk for about a half hour to an hour with my friends, and then it's just available. So it's a lot less effort on something that I really like talking about, and it's like literally just gonna be Green Lantern shit, which there isn't a lot of, so I'm gonna have to like start stretching things out. But you know, as cool as
That's what they said?
My Neighbor Superman, or what was it called? My Friend Superman.
My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, like as cool as that sounds, and even if I watch it and I love it, I won't cover it on Lanterns Live because it. Well, I guess there's just a Green Lantern in it, maybe something, but we'll see. We'll see. But once a month, I'm doing reviews of the Green Lantern comic, which is great, and I'm actually doing toy reviews, but only DC Superpowers toys that are a Green Lantern. And any day now, I should have a Guy Gardner in my grasp, and I will be on, joined by Chris and probably Johnny. Johnny, did you get the Guy Gardner yet?
Yes, Chris actually procured one for me and sent it my way. It's on its way.
Oh, cool. That's really nice of him to do that for you.
I mean, I paid him for it, but he found.
Well, I mean, I can pay him for one. Chris isn't in here anymore, is he?
No, I don't
I
think so.
think he's gone.
Yeah. That's fine.
Chris, if you're still here,
just excited.
make yourself known.
Do you still have one pre-ordered, though?
Yeah, I have one pre-ordered through Amazon. I
didn't have one pre-ordered at all. Or wait, not Guy. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Guy? I'm talking about the Sinestro.
Oh no, I have Sinestros. I actually saw Sinestro, the blue costume Sinestro, at Walmart recently. So what I found is the best thing to do for me is type in the thing I'm looking for at GameStop and see if I could pick it up.
There you go.
And I'll know where it is. And then I'll just call GameStop and I said, hey, I'm driving 50 minutes from my house to pick up this toy. Can you please make sure that nobody else takes it? Which is what happened with the gold Sinestro.
I got confused. Yeah, that's what he's sending me, the gold Sinestro, because I didn't get one. The Guy I still just have pre-ordered through Amazon. Yeah, that's what's on its way to me.
Nice.
Yeah, and you guys already did that. I don't know what I was talking about.
That was my first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
And I'm hoping that there is a Kyle Rayner announcement. Because
Jessica Cruz. Need more female Wonder Woman is still the only female in that line. We need more women.
I don't think Jessica Cruz would be next. Who would you do next? Supergirl, right?
Is only in the line of
probably
superpowers?
Or Batgirl.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we know
superpowers so far.
So
yeah, superpowers so far. The only woman is Wonder Woman.
I saw a post about him.
We haven't even got
the
repaint.
fandom event, and I was just like, go poop in a pool.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right.
I was on Lantern, and we talked about the first arc of the animated show, and I'll probably be back to talk about the second at some point. And I still have to read. Yeah. I have Blackest Night. Vactor sent me the paperback omnibus, but I still need to read it.
Cool.
Kayla's like, all right, enough Green Lantern.
Yeah. Hey, my eyes are green. I like Green Lantern.
Yeah. Here's what Allison says. We need Supergirl, Batgirl, Black Canary, Fire, Ice, and Zatanna.
Allison, how many Batman has McFarlane made now?
Like 7.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, make sure to smack that like, smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon. We appreciate y'all being here to geek the F out about Lost. And yeah, tune in every Friday from now on as we talk about the rest of the seasons. Same time, same place. And as usual, on Thursday evenings, we have our Trek Retrek show. That has not changed. And if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Instagram at GTFO channel. I sound like I'm an announcer. And we have an update. 98 Batman, 67 Jokers, 52 Robins, 17 have the wrong cape, 19 Batwings, 23 Batmobiles, and a dirty thong that's Batman from the Lost Island. And on that note, get the fuck out of here.
See you in another life, brother.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to see that. See you in another life.